Hello everyone, my name is Christian and today I'm going to be talking about one of my new favorite manga, which is going to be Katsuhiro's Otomo's Akira. This is volume 6 that I'm holding. I meant to grab volume 1 and of course I had it flipped over with the first ones on the bottom. I should have had it on top. So I apologize for grabbing the wrong one, but it doesn't matter. But this is a series that was released serially from 1982 to 1990, and then was put together into 6 volumes. It's a pretty short series, 6 volumes total, and I love Akira. I had seen the movie already years and years ago, back in college, which was like 2015 to 2019 roughly. I saw it very early on, so it was probably 2016 I saw it for the first time, and I never engaged with it again, but I never stopped thinking about it. And what was my reaction and expectations going into this? First thing was that I remember just how iconic some of the shots were. The motorcycle slide, the Akira slide they call it. I remember the various nuclear explosions going off, and I remember the world building being very, very detailed and just very confusing. And so I was like, I just need to take my time going through this, but not too much time to where I'm forgetting details. So I ended up reading this in about 3 or 4 days, just uninterrupted, back in July. So I'm about a month late on doing my review, so I apologize for that. I have been thinking about it constantly since then, and I wrote down notes. And what is the story? Basically, it's post-World War III Tokyo. So we're in 1990s, and World War III has already happened, and a nuclear explosion has wiped out Tokyo, and no one knows why. There's a whole conspiracy and mystery around this. Mystery of sort of like what happened and like who caused the nuclear explosion and all this different stuff. And we have the 2 main characters who I think are some of the most interesting rivalries in manga, which is Tetsuo and Kaneda. Kaneda is more of the protagonist compared to Tetsuo. Tetsuo is very mentally unstable, and he gets into a crash very early on, like chapter 1 of the story. And he immediately is taken by some mystery people, and he gains telekinetic powers. And we watch him slowly morph. And there's a lot of one of my favorite movies, Japanese cult films. It's a very unlikely connection, but I don't know if Tokyo Gore Police was inspired by Akira, because in Akira, when Tetsuo is using telekinesis and doing all that, like there's a lot of like sci-fi concepts going on with like nanobots, and when a limb of his is cut off, like a hand or something, like machines like sprout from the wound. And that's why I was thinking of the movie Tokyo Gore Police, because that is something that happens a lot, where someone with a samurai sword chops someone's arm off, and they grow a chainsaw out of their arm, and it's awesome. I love that movie. Someone needs to do an awesome 4K of that movie. I would really appreciate it. But anyways, so that keeps happening to Tetsuo, and every time that happens, he gets a little more unstable to the point where he starts using the character of Akira, because Akira is a character that we get to learn about, and I love all the mystery surrounding this character. But Tetsuo really begins to use him as sort of a puppet, because Akira is so much more powerful with telekinesis and all these sort of magical powers. And I really feel as if this entire story of Akira is like a cyberpunk version of Dune, because Tetsuo is very Paul Atreides-like, where he is trying to attain a goal, and he will do whatever it takes to achieve that goal. And it has a lot of bad ramifications, and things happen out of his control. It's very like Dune Messiah-like, a little less Dune book 1, but definitely more Dune Messiah, and I would say even Dune, God Emperor of Dune, everything with Leto. That's all I will say with that. I don't want to go into spoilers on Dune Book 4 and why I love it, but there's a lot of sort of concepts with Akira that is very reminiscent of Dune, and it just really got me like going. Like, I loved reading the story. I loved thinking about it. I loved all of the conspiracy. I love the characters of the Espers, who are the very few survivors, who are like these little children who are unable to grow. So they're actually like 40 years old. They've been around since like before World War III, and were used as a way to sort of keep the world in check. And it's really, really interesting. I loved reading about the Espers, and Akira is just a story that I think is just so rich, just so full of theme, so full of emotion. I love the character relationships as well, because the rivalry between Tetsuo and Kaneda, because Kaneda's our main character, and he gets wrapped up into a lot of conspiracies, and he is always just like trying to do his best and working around all the tragedy and just awful sort of things happening, because a lot of people die throughout the story. So there's a lot of stakes going on, and there's a lot of danger, and there's a lot of sort of conflict that is arising between the two characters, or between the rivalry of Kaneda and Tetsuo. And I loved all of that. I love when like two best friends start feuding, and then there's a lot of romance happening within the story too on Kaneda's side, because Kaneda falls in love with one of the revolutionaries who is sort of trying to keep the truth alive about what's going on, because Tokyo at this point, after World War III, is a surveillance state and definitely is controlling information. And a lot of people, like, you know, nuclear blasts are continuing to happen in the story, and no one knows why. And we, the reader, know why, because, you know, we're reading about the characters who are affecting, you know, and causing these things. But the everyday person, the everyday citizen, they have no idea. Anytime they show up in the story, you know, the military or the politicians are like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. And then another nuke goes off, and, you know, more disaster happens and more disaster strikes. And it just becomes a whole thing. Like, I really love that kind of steady build-up. And, man, the ending to the story is so emotional. I loved it. I'm not going to talk about it because I want it to be a surprise. And I don't know. I'm really excited that I enjoyed the story as much as I did. I think I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I loved it. I think this is, without a doubt, one of the best manga series I've ever read. It's up there definitely with Berserk and, what else? Definitely Kagurabachi. Like, I was definitely getting a lot of, like, just, like, vibes from that. Like, and I think it is because of all the Dune kind of references. I don't know if it's references, but definitely the parallels. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think of Akira. Have you watched the movie? Have you read the manga, etc.? Thank you all so much for watching if you're still watching, and please have a great rest of the day.